Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Balvinda tied Rishi up in the Ravan idol so that by the time Ayush shoots the arrow, then Rishi will burn to death. So let's continue from there. Balvinda is looking at the Ravan idol and he hears Rishi's voice. He thinks if Rishi regain consciousness, Rishi says, I will not leave you, Balvinda. Once I come out, then I will be your worst nightmare. Balvinda plays the music system near the Ravan idol and he thinks that nobody will hear Rishi today because his ticket to heaven is sure. Balvinda sees Malishka coming there and he tries to go hiding his face, but Malishka holds his collar and asks him to tell her where Rishi is. She says if anything happens to Rishi, then she will kill him, even if she gets hang punishment. Balvinda says, I love Lakshmi more than you love Rishi. He says he believes on Ravan and that is why he is forgiving her today. Malishka says you. Balvinda asks her to think about herself because Lakshmi is looking at them and she will make your life hell. Malishka says bloody hell and she goes. Lakshmi comes near the Ravan idol and she calls Shalu. Rishi looks at Lakshmi from the opening. Lakshmi asks Shalu if Soup will regain consciousness. Shalu says no. Lakshmi calls Rishi. Rishi sees Lakshmi and says I am here inside the idol and he asks Lakshmi to look inside, but Lakshmi couldn't hear him. Lakshmi feels that Rishi is there, but where? Rishi asks Lakshmi to save him. He closes his eyes and asks if Lakshmi is hearing him. Lakshmi finally hears Rishi and says, yes, I can hear you. Rishi says, I am stuck inside the Ravan, look at me. Lakshmi looks at the Ravan and realizes that Rishi is inside after seeing his clothes. And Rishi says, I am inside the Ravan, please save me. Lakshmi sees that Ayush is about to fire the arrow at the Ravan and he tries to stop him. But Ayush doesn't see her and he fires the arrow. The fire arrow falls near the Ravan and the fire catch up immediately with the Ravan idol. But Lakshmi runs inside the Ravan without minding the fire. Balvinda sees that and he gets frustrated that how did Lakshmi finally located Rishi. Rishi asks Lakshmi to go away from there, saying that the fire caught up all around him. Lakshmi says she will not leave him. Lakshmi climbs on the tied wooden logs to untie Rishi. Balvinda picks a stone and throws at Lakshmi's head, but Lakshmi refused to give up. Lakshmi asks Rishi that who has tied you up here. Balvinda throws another stone at Lakshmi and Lakshmi faints. Rishi thinks that if Lakshmi falls down from up, then she will get hurt, so he managed to hold her with his tight hand and he hugs her and says, I cannot live without you. I don't want to lose you. I want to live with you. I like you. And he asks her to open her eyes. He says, I will not let anything happen to you. Please wake up, Lakshmi. Lakshmi partially regains consciousness and says, I will not let anything happen to you too. Rishi asks Lakshmi to open her eyes and save him, being his savior. They see Ayush about to fire another arrow again, and they shouted Ayush. Rishi asks Lakshmi to go from there and let him die. Lakshmi slaps Rishi and says, if you say this again, then I will kill you. I will die, but I will not leave you. Lakshmi tried to untie Rishi, but Rishi says that you cannot save me. Lakshmi says if I cannot save you, then I will die with you. Rishi asks, what should we do? Ayush fires the arrow again and it hits the Ravan's idol's stomach and it comes inside where Rishi and Lakshmi are, but Lakshmi holds the arrow at the right time before the arrow hits Rishi. Virendra sees Lakshmi's dupatta piece coming out of the Ravan and he asks Ayush to stop and says Lakshmi is there, so Rishi would also be there. Ayush is shocked and he says I had shot the fire arrow on Rishi and Lakshmi unknowingly. Grandma asks them to go and save Lakshmi and Rishi. Kiran tells Malishka that Lakshmi and Rishi are inside the Ravan and Malishka recalls Balvinda's words. Ayush and Virendra comes inside the Ravan. Lakshmi asks Ayush to do something and Lakshmi tries to open the rope on Rishi. Balvinda thinks to burn Rishi and he thinks that he has to burn Lakshmi too along with Rishi. Balvinda sets the fire on the arrow and he hits it on the Ravan. The arrow goes inside the Ravan and Lakshmi's dupatta catches fire. Rishi and Lakshmi fall down. Neelam says, who has shot this arrow? Malishka and others sees the arrow fired at the Ravan. Lakshmi faints. Rishi calls Lakshmi and says nothing would happen to you. He takes the unconscious Lakshmi outside the Ravan. Ayush and Virendra also comes out. Rishi brings Lakshmi to their room and asks her to get up and she should gain consciousness and says you have saved me, so nothing should happen to you. Rishi asks Lakshmi to get up for him. He says, I asked you to save yourself and let me die, but you did not listen to me. He says, I am with you, and I will not let anything happen to you. He asked Neelam to see what Lakshmi did. He asked Virendra to ask Lakshmi to gain consciousness. He says Lakshmi is strong and she would have get up by now, but she is still unconscious, and he gets worried. Rishi asks Virendra to call the doctor. Virendra says he has already called the doctor. Rishi asks Lakshmi to regain consciousness, and he asks Virendra to call the doctor again. Rishi asks Lakshmi to open her eyes for him. Malishka is shocked to hear Rishi's love and care for Lakshmi, and Malishka gets angry. Ahana, Grandma and Bani pray for Lakshmi's well-being. Grandma says God will hear our prayers and he will not let anything wrong happen with Lakshmi. She says a big incident have happened. Why did this happen with Lakshmi? And she asks God to protect Lakshmi. Neelam asks Rishi to calm down and says Lakshmi will be fine. She asks Rishi to care about himself too. Malishka asks if Rishi is fine. Rishi shouted saying that he is fine, but Lakshmi is hurt. He asked Neelam to pray for Lakshmi, and if anything had happened to him, then he would have been fine, saying Lakshmi fine. He asked them to pray for Lakshmi. Ayush comes there. Neelam asks Rishi that how did you go inside the Ravan? Rishi says we will talk about that later after Lakshmi gets fine. The doctor comes there and checks Lakshmi. He says Lakshmi had fainted due to the trauma. He asks that what happened exactly. Neelam says Lakshmi fell down near the Ravan, and the doctor says Lakshmi is fine. Rishi says that the doctor says that Lakshmi is fine, but Lakshmi did not regain consciousness yet. The doctor says Lakshmi will be fine, and he asks them to get the medicine for her, and he leaves. Shalu comes there and asks Ayush that what did the doctor say? Ayush says the doctor asked Lakshmi not to take stress. Karishma says we all heard it. Neelam asks Rishi to tell them how he got to the Ravan. Virendra also asks Rishi about it, and Rishi recalls Balvinda taking him to the Ravan. Neelam and Virendra ask Rishi that who had tied him up there. Virendra asks if someone tried to kill him. Rishi recalls seeing Balvinda, and he thinks that he should not stress them by telling them about Balvinda. First, they should settle the scores with Balvinda. Balvinda is in Gudu's house. Gudu asks if Balvinda has gone mad. Balvinda says Lakshmi saved Rishi again, and Lakshmi jumped in the fire to save Rishi. Balvinda says to Gudu that I thought that Rishi would die, but Lakshmi loves Rishi so much. He says Lakshmi did not know that I love her 1,000 times more than she loves Rishi. He says Lakshmi doesn't cry even for him once. Gudu says you cannot get Lakshmi even now. Balvinda says I want Lakshmi, and he tells Gudu that he will rewrite the story and he will get Lakshmi at any cost. Gudu asks if Rishi knows that you have done this, and Balvinda says that Rishi knows, and he even looked into my eyes. Rishi tells everyone that he couldn't see the person's face. Karishma says the person took you there, but you did not see his face. Rishi says the person was wearing a mask, so I did not see him properly. Karishma, Malishka and Neelam leave. Rishi sits near Lakshmi and says in Ramayan, Lord Rama saved his wife, and here, a wife saved her husband. He says you did not care for your life, and you saved me. Thank you, Lakshmi. Ayush, Shalu and Virendra looks on, and Rishi gets up and he goes. Gudu asks Balvinda to go from there because the police will come and arrest him. He says it is good that nothing happened to Lakshmi, else Rishi wouldn't have spared him. Balvinda says let's pack our clothes and run, and they take the bag to start packing. Balvinda says Rishi did not know that I am here, and says I will stay here and wait, and says bring alcohol, we would have it. Gudu says the alcohol has finished, and Balvinda asks him to buy another one. Rishi comes out of the house and recalls Lakshmi tying a dupatta piece on his head to stop his bleeding. He sits down and says, thank you, God. Lakshmi is fine. He says, Lakshmi has saved me and you have saved Lakshmi. He says, if anything happens to Lakshmi, then what would happen to me? What will I do without Lakshmi? And he gets emotional. Rishi says to God that Lakshmi should smile always, even if I am not happy. He says Lakshmi's happiness matters to me a lot, and says since when did Lakshmi become important to me? He recalls Lakshmi's words that they will live and die together, and that she will not leave him, and a song plays in the background. Ayush comes to Rishi. Rishi hugs Ayush and cries. Ayush is surprised to see Rishi emotional. Rishi wipes his tears and says, I don't understand when Lakshmi becomes this important to me. He says, I don't care about my happiness, but I care for Lakshmi's happiness. He asks, why do I feel for Lakshmi's happiness more than mine? Ayush says to Rishi that you started caring for Lakshmi since when you fall in love with her. He says you love Lakshmi, but you don't want to believe it. And he asks, why are you jealous when someone goes near Lakshmi? When Lakshmi is in pain, then your heart cries. If Lakshmi is worried, then your peace goes away. Ayush asks Rishi to ask himself. He says, ask your heart and ask your tears. When you question them, then you would only get one answer, which is that you love Lakshmi. Ayush says to Rishi that Lakshmi has the same feelings for you. She gets jealous when Malishka comes near you, and she gets upset if she sees you talking to some other girl. Ayush says when Lakshmi was upset, you thought of how to cheer her up, and this is only happening because you are in love with Lakshmi. Shalu is sitting near Lakshmi and she says, sorry sister, you get bad sight today even though I always call you lucky, and she prays for her happiness. Lakshmi suddenly regains consciousness. Shalu asks Lakshmi to get up and she asks if she is fine, but Lakshmi asks about Rishi. Lakshmi asks Shalu if Rishi is fine. Shalu says yes, Rishi is fine, but Lakshmi says no, I want to go to Rishi. She says Rishi must be upset with me. Rishi tells Ayush that Lakshmi was upset with him, so he was trying to cheer her up. He says we like each other, but we don't love each other. He says maybe it is just friendship or more than friendship, but we are not in love. Rishi says to Ayush that Lakshmi has earned the love and respect that I gave her, and says if someone else was in my place, then they would have felt the same for Lakshmi, and he goes. Ayush smiles and says one day you will realize that you love Lakshmi a lot. Malishka gets angry and says, how dare that Balvinda to attempt to kill my Rishi? She says, if I have known that Balvinda was trying to kill my Rishi, then I would have killed him right away. She says, bloody cheap guy, and she calls him on phone. Balvinda picks the call and asks that what is the problem. Malishka asks, how dare you to touch my Rishi? I had told you that Rishi is my love, and yet to try to kill him. Balvinda asks Malishka to be quiet and says you try to kill my love Lakshmi as well, and you trap her in the court case. Malishka says you are a thief and a cheater and says you gave me an empty pen drive. Balvinda says yes, I gave you an empty pen drive because I don't trust you and your mom, and he ends the call, and this got Malishka very angry. Alright guys, so this answers the question if Lakshmi will be able to save Rishi from the fire. So Lakshmi was able to do it again. So thank you guys for watching. Please check the comment section for the link to the next update once it is available. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.